Unity has blocked the use of real-time multiplayer platform SpatialOS, leaving many developers who rely on the service in a state of limbo. A change to the Unity terms of service means all existing SpatialOS titles, including production games and those still in development, are now in breach of the company's license terms. SpatialOS creator Improbable broke the news in a blog post and explained Unity has also revoked its ability to continue working with the engine for operating the newly changed terms of service in an unspecified way. That means the company will no longer be able to fully support Unity developers, as to MEOs who have been forced to shut down the servers of their SpatialOS projects. Although Improbable believes the unfortunate and counterproductive action to be a simple error in judgment, a coordination failure on Unity's part, the company is worried by the fact the change occurred during an open commercial negotiation with the engine maker. Overnight, this is an action by Unity that has immediately done harm to projects across the industry, including those of extremely vulnerable and small-scale developers, and damaged major projects in development over many years. Wrote Improbable. Games that have been funded based on the promise of SpatialOS to deliver next-generation multiplayer are now endangered due to their choice of game engine. Live games are now in legal limbo. All customers who entered into a relationship with us and Unity previously did so on the good faith understanding that the terms they signed up to, sometimes years ago, would allow them to be successful and not carry additional charges. Improbable is now urgently seeking a solution to the situation, and says it will do everything in its power to solve the issue in good faith with Unity, with the ideal outcome being a reversal of the terms change. In the meantime, the company has pledged to help developers using SpatialOS with Unity finish, release, and operate their games, and is setting up an emergency fund for partners who are now thrown into the financial mire. Improbable will also be fully open sourcing the SpatialOS game development kit for Unity under the MIT license, in the hope it might assist individual customers in some way. Those interested can find out more about the dispute over on the Improbable blog. Chris Kerr, at KDRNBLIMEY, is Gamasutra's resident United Kingdom news reporter, and Cake Maker Extraordinaire. December is here, which means it's time to wax lyrical about some of the best video games I have chomped on over the past 12 months, as has now become tradition. It's unfortunately also time for me to make the soul-crushing realization that I have still got an Everest-sized back catalog to conquer over Christmas. I have not forgotten about Utasha's effect, my sweet summer child. Out of those type lazy, did manage to make time for. There were some absolute belters. Bad North.
FIFA 19.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Mini Metro, and North all won me for different reasons, but in the end, did not do quite enough to make the cut. Nope. We are here to talk about the absolute greats. Fatness the cream de la cream. I know that I have written enough of an intro to appease the formatting gods. It's time we moved on to the main event. Here are the 5 best titles of 2018. According to yours truly, expectation can weigh you down. And deep be fair to say the expectations swirling around Marvel's Spider-Man were absolutely massive. Years of impressive gameplay demos and trailers had made fans ravenous. But they also left developer Insomniac with the seemingly impossible task of delivering the goods, particularly on the title front. Turns out, we need not have worried. Insomniac did not just meet expectations, they absolutely obliterated them. and Spider-Man is now the benchmark for superhero titles. It captured the spirit of the franchise in every way imaginable, blending a captivating narrative full of surprises with relatable characters. Morris Wellswing, a bustling and rather photogenic version of New York, and expressive combat, repetitive side quests, and slight pacing issues were the only blemish on an otherwise superlative effort. And in all honesty, my only real complaint is that after 30 Horsey still wanted more. This is the second time No Man's Sky has made my end-of-year list, and that fact alone should be enough to tell you developer Hello Games has been putting in plenty of graft to win over those players who were left underwhelmed. To put it politely, when the game touched down in 2016, for the record, I actually enjoyed the experience No Man's Sky offered at launch, skimming through the stars and exploring unknown worlds, while 65 days of static, as electrifying star world around my eardrums was enough for me. That said, I have to admit the next update Hello Games rolled out this year took the game to new heights. The patch introduced a full-fledged multiplayer, refined base building, a third-person camera, character customization, freighter enhancements, a revamped crafting and resource system, notable graphical enhancements, and so much more. It was a staggering achievement that is all the Hello Games crew in back the hearts and minds of their more disgruntled players, while simultaneously rewarding those who they supported them over the past 2 years. An interactive story about love and life. Florence is a magnificent example of less is more game design. The moving noble effort does not actually offer players many ways to engage beyond completing minimalistic mini-games, instead inviting them to sit back and explore a series of vignettes depicting the ultimately doomed relationship between Florence and Krish. That simplicity, though, is Florence's greatest strength. It gives you the freedom to melt into the bittersweet story unfurling before you, all while developer mountains subtly steers your emotions by deftly manipulating sound, color, and the simplest of puzzles to perfectly replicate the awkwardness of dating, the comfort of companionship, and the all-consuming pain of heartbreak. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the video game equivalent of the greatest hits album. It's full of tracks you already know and love, just remastered and slapped on the same disc. For the first time ever, it's a refinement, not a revolution. But that does not make it any less of an achievement. In fact, while I like that analogy, it might be a little bit unfair on Nintendo. Ultimate is not the definitive version of Smash Bros. Just because it reunites every character in franchise history. Nintendo went above and beyond to ensure it will stand the test of time, rebuilding the game engine from scratch to make the most of the SWITCH's capabilities, cooking up a surprisingly meaty single-player campaign, and fine-tuning the roster, containing a whopping 70 firefighters, all while somehow finding the time to throw some brand new characters into the mix. I have not seen a bad word written about Ultimate since it landed at the start of December, and you can bet your bottom dollar you will not find one here. If it does indeed prove to the series director, Moz Hirosaka, last Smash Bros. Game, then he's going out on the highest of highs. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just one of the best games of 2018. It's one of the best games of this console generation. Look, I know some of you will be rolling your eyes right now, and I am not for 1 second suggesting it's perfect. The opening is a mite sluggish. The gunplay could be a little tighter, and characters do not control as well as they should. Ultimately though, that's a small price to pay when you get to exist in one of the most absorbing digital worlds ever created. Even if you come for the story, which in itself is worth the price of admission, you will stay just to meander through Rockstar's sprawling rendition of the Wild West. During my playthrough, I spent the bulk of my time sidestepping the main missions to hunt, fish, forage, pilfer, gamble, help out strangers, and do just about everything I could to prolong my stay. I cannot pay the debts at Rockstar any higher praise than that. What they have created with Red Dead 2 is nothing short of a technical miracle. I just wish the people employing them would start leading by example, and more to eradicate rather than perpetuate crunch culture.